For a football club and for Tottenham Hotspur, building trust and authenticity is one of the most important things. We want to build a community, the biggest community of Tottenham Hotspur fans online, and to do that you need to be trusted, you need to be authentic, and you also have to be exclusive, I think. We need to make sure that we give fans what they want and make sure that that is communicated well and is right, and that's key. And I think it's really difficult because you have so many sort of interests and so many different parts of the season. You'll have ups and downs, and how you communicate and build that trust, you know, isn't easy. And sometimes you really need to be creative, and I think that's another key point. Football clubs and Premier League clubs especially, and in Europe now, I mean, you look at what Real Madrid and Barcelona and what Tottenham Hotspur do, obviously. I think that you have to be creative, and I think that football clubs are getting better and more savvy at that as well. I think that you look at the Premier League teams and you look at football generally across Twitter, for example. It's one of the biggest sort of topics on the platform. But I also think there's a point about sort of engagement. I think that's one of the key things. At Tottenham Hotspur, we've got 370,000 followers on Twitter, but we were voted third, which is only fifth best, I think, on the platform. But in the recent Twitter sort of league table, we were third for engagement and really embracing it. And I think fans really appreciate that engagement. When you talk directly to a fan about a product or what's going on, that's fantastic, and the fan really responds to it. I think content strategy for brands is certainly something that I talk about all the time in terms of my role. I sort of manage social, obviously, but I talk about content strategy every single day, and it's really important. I think that for us, it's fun, exclusive is the key. We need to be the place that people come to get exclusive content, and I think that's really important. And also entertaining, I think that's another important thing. And for some brands, that's quite difficult. If you know, depending on what your product is. For us, it may be slightly easier because football is an entertainment sort of pastime, so that's really useful for us. But at the same time, you need to make sure it's interesting and it's fun. But the exclusivity is always key for what drives our most successful pieces of video or content or whatever that may be. We make so much content now, and now we can look at the data in terms of success and start to really focus on what works and what doesn't work, which sounds quite basic, but I think is certainly, and people say they do it, we've evaluated this, we've evaluated that, but I think certainly something that we look at is the data, especially from places like YouTube and Facebook, where you get a huge amount, and other products that you can sort of get in terms of managing your social media platforms. So I think, yeah, more data-orientated content as well. Fans at Tottenham and every football club are interested in data, and I think making content from that is really interesting, and also sort of it's been around for a long time, but crowdsourcing content as well in terms of making the fans feel part of the club, that's really important. And I think for us, that's really, really easy sometimes to do, and sometimes really hard, depending on if we're winning or losing or what sort of content we're asking for. But other brands, it might be slightly harder to sort of get content from. So I think it's finding something that people are actually interested in and not assuming that just because you're X brand that they will do it because they love you. Even for us, you have to sort of have something interesting for them to get involved in.